Hey guys, Suffers here. Today's video will be a simple guide on Robin. Without further ado, let's rise up into her world. I'll go over her kit first. She has a regular basic attack, this one is completely irrelevant. So save up your trace materials. Her skill applies an AoE buff to all allies, increasing their damage by 50%, which ticks down at the start of her turn, similar to Ruan Mei. Her talent passively buffs the party's crit damage and she regenerates 2 energy whenever an ally attacks. This talent is very crucial to her kit, as she is able to speed up her ultimate frequency by pairing her with characters who can dish out a ton of attacks within a cycle. This can include follow-up attacks and attacks done during extra turns. Her ultimate, at a costly 160 energy, is the bread and butter of her kit. When casting her ultimate, she enters the concerto state and is unable to act. But she immediately provides a 100% team-wide action advance with a massive attack buff. So, you would want to cast it once her teammates have run out of turns in the cycle or if you're 3 more actions away from beating the stage. She also adds on a hit of physical damage to every ally's attack while she remains in her concerto state. This additional damage is guaranteed to crit with a 150% crit damage multiplier. She is also immune to crowd control, so don't worry about her being stun locked while she is unable to act. Her concerto state will count down based on the action order, with the countdown having a fixed speed stat of 90 in the action order. Once the countdown gets its turn, Robin will exit her concerto state, removing all of the aforementioned buffs. Her technique casts a dimension which makes all enemies nearby follow her but they do not attack. When starting a fight while the dimension is active, she will regenerate 5 energy at the start of each wave. Do note that this will conflict with other dimension techniques like Doctor Ratio, so do pick between which is more important or beneficial to you. For her traces, she will gain an extra 5 energy whenever casting her skill. Next she buffs the crit damage of follow-up attacks by 25% while in her concerto state. Lastly, she gets a free 25% action advance at the start of the battle, which as long as she has a 120 or 121 speed, she is easily able to go before her teammates with 160 speed or lower, so her allies are able to capitalize on her skill's damage buff ASAP. Robin is quite a complex character to play optimally due to her ultimate's cooldown timing and high energy cost. Ideally, you would want to have close to 100% uptime on her ultimate, by having enough energy by the time her ultimate ends after a single cast of her basic attack or skill. Her high 160 energy cost coupled with her additional energy regeneration being quite minuscule, it would be hard to achieve a near 100% ultimate uptime. However, it is very clear that she shines in follow-up team comps, more specifically, the IPC team consisting of Topaz, Aventurin, Ratio, and or the soon-to-be-released Jade. As they are able to launch a high frequency of follow-up attacks to feed her energy, while she provides massive buffs to them. But there are ways to get her energy up quickly even outside of the IPC team. You can place her in the 2nd or 3rd slot in the team setup, next to characters with higher aggro value, especially destruction or preservation characters, so that she can receive energy from getting hit by blast attacks from enemies. Having fast allies to attack multiple times in a cycle can also feed her energy, such as Seal, Kafka, Pella, Silver Wolf and Abundance units running multiplication. Let's throw relatability out of the window for a brief second and discuss her Eidolons. Her E1 gives the all-powerful all-type res penetration, extremely powerful for any team. A very worthwhile pickup for those looking for further investment. E2 makes her ultimate provide a 12% speed buff and her talent now regenerates her 3 energy instead of 2. The first effect is quite good to try and push for faster clears while the second effect improves her energy rotation significantly. Her E4 provides some utility by cleansing CC effects from allies after casting her ultimate and buffs their effect resistance by 50%. This helps to not waste the action advance on stunned allies, but otherwise its overall usefulness is quite niche. Finally, E6 is one of the most busted Eidolons in the game. Increasing her additional damage's crit damage by 450% for 8 hits, which effectively gives her 600% crit damage per hit. This enables a team without a single DPS to effectively clear content. A very fun and powerful Eidolon for those who can afford it. Now, let's talk about her light cone options. Her best is obviously her signature light cone, Flowing Night Glow. It provides her up to 15% energy regeneration to help speed up her ultimate. Its name itself already evokes emotional pain, but it can also inflict physical pain to her enemies by converting the stacks of energy regeneration into a massive 48% damage buff for herself and 24% for her allies. Her second best option is also the most accessible. For Tomorrow's Journey provides her a significant 32% attack boost as well as a 30% damage buff after using her ultimate. This is comparable to her signature when it comes to both support capabilities and personal damage, minus the energy regeneration. An extremely solid option for a free light cone. Bronya's light cone is also a great 5-star alternative that most of you should have exchanged for by now. It provides a solid 10% energy regeneration and can help with her lack of SP generation by giving 1 SP after casting her ultimate. The second effect is rather inconsistent to pull off outside of the start of the battle, but extra damage buff to allies is always appreciated. Last but not least, it's a good stat stick light cone. Carve the Moon Weave the Clouds can be a solid option for those who buy the battle pass. All of its buffs are beneficial, however, its RNG can mean that you will get the wrong buff at the wrong time. However, when you do get the right buffs, it proves its usefulness very well. Planetary Rendezvous is good to run if used with a physical DPS. Memories of the Past can help with her energy regeneration, but she rarely has the opportunity to use her basic attack due to her ultimate. Finally, Meshing Cogs remains the best 3-star light cone by also being useful for Robin if you have energy issues and lack other options to compensate. Moving on to her relics, you have two options. Either improve her support capabilities by buffing her attack stat, or you can make her a sub-DPS by improving her personal damage. You'll mostly want to aim for attack percent, with the rest going into HP and defense, as well as some speed to reach 121 so she can act first at the start of battle. You can also consider some effect resistance to give her some protection against crowd control outside of her concerto state. There are cases where a faster Robin is more beneficial. For example, reaching the 134 speed threshold gives her more turns in a cycle, meaning she is able to use her skill or basic attack to get energy faster. Or having 157 speed to reach 2 speed breakpoints in MOC to perfectly optimize DPS turns during her ultimate's duration. But 121 speed is pretty much all she needs, so adjust according to your relic quality. For the chest, boots and orb, attack percent is the only option. And the rope is preferably energy regeneration. Now remember, stats over sets. Running off pieces with better stats will always edge out matching sets with subpar stats. For a support build, run a 2-piece combination of either Musketeer, Prisoner, or Hackerspace. With Musketeer and Prisoner being the best in slot, as you get a free 24% attack boost. However, if you struggle to hit 121 speed, do run Hackerspace. For planers, Fleet of the Ageless provides the most beneficial stats, followed by Space Sealing Station. However, I am sure most of you have stopped farming World 3 in Simulated Universe. If you want to speed up her ultimate, Penacony or Von Whack provide the extra energy regeneration in the cases she gets hit or grabs kills. Penacony is even better when run with a physical DPS, while Von Whack guarantees she goes first before any other unit. Broken Keel remains a solid option, providing effect resistance and a team-wide 10% crit damage buff. It is also the most efficient set, so if you don't have the aforementioned sets, Keel's got you covered. For the sub-DPS build, the stats remain the same, except for the orb, which she prefers physical damage boost in this case. A 4-piece champion of Streetwise Boxing provides the most damage increase but takes a while to stack since she cannot act while her ultimate is active, and she needs to basic attack to gain stacks. If the 4-piece is a hassle, a 2-piece combination of champion with Musketeer, Prisoner, or Hackerspace is also viable. Glamoth improves her personal damage when it comes to planar sets, but she requires at least 135 speed to obtain its damage buff, meaning you have to sacrifice attack boots for speed. But Space Sealing Station is a close second. If neither sound appealing due to their hard optimization and farming inefficiency respectively, you can still stick with the other planers mentioned in the support build. Let's move on to her team options. As a Harmony character, Robin can fit into most teams and she'll provide plenty of benefits. But I'll show teams where she can shine. Obviously, her best in slot team is the IPC follow-up team. Topaz, Ratio and Aventurin have the highest frequency of follow-ups combined, supercharging her ultimate both during and outside her ultimate's duration. They also fully utilize her entire kit, gaining full benefit of the follow-up crit damage during her ultimate. Topaz and Ratio appreciate her massive attack buff as well, due to their lack of good attack stat multipliers. For pure fiction, she can also buff Herta and/or Himiko greatly. Due to a majority of their damage coming from follow-ups, they do not need to take turns to clear enemy waves, which prolongs the buffs from Robin's ultimate. Even though she buffs crit damage of allies, the rest of her kit buffs universal stats. And therefore she is also extremely potent in a team. The action advance benefits Kafka and Black Swan greatly, as Kafka can detonate more dots at the same time. More actions allow for more stacks of Arcana to be built up. She is very comparable to Ruan Mei as their harmony support, with Robin even reaching faster clears by 1 to 2 cycles in certain cases. She can also benefit greatly from Seal, provided she is able to kill a bunch of trash mobs to proc Resurgence for extra attacks. The action advance also equates to more turns for Seal to trigger Resurgence. But do note that the additional physical damage from Robin will not allow Seal to get Resurgence if the hit ends up killing the enemy rather than Seal's attack. Finally, Robin is also great for 0 cycles due to the action advance and massive buffs she provides. Run her with any 2 broken supports of your choice in your DPS and you are ready to 0 cycle. What about her signature light cone versus her E1? Her signature light cone provides everything she needs, which is energy and damage. However, the energy it provides does not change her ultimate rotation, only being able to give her energy while she is not in the concerto state, as the energy regeneration is converted into a damage buff after casting her ultimate. Which is specifically where she wants energy the most, as by the time her ultimate wears off, she should be almost at max energy. Meanwhile her E1 provides the rare and all-powerful all-type res penetration, which provides a more significant damage increase to teams than just stacking damage or attack multipliers. If energy is an issue, you're much better off running an energy regeneration planar set with meshing cogs or Bronia's light cone, which provide more unconditional energy regeneration than her S1. So in my opinion, for vertical investment, her E1 is more worthwhile. Then again, pull within your means. Her light cone is more desirable if you really lack alternatives and you need to fix up her energy issues, plus it's easier to obtain than an Eidolon. But if you ask me, she's still a potent buffer at E0S0. I'll now begin the Robin showcase in MOC in pure fiction. Sit back, relax and enjoy.
運試しと行こう。ようこそ凡人のステージへ。
危険なリズムね。すべてが共鳴する。生産しましょう。
テスト。怪だ。気をつけて。
焦らないの？市場が長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。今宵魂の星々の反響。
回答を楽しみにしているぞ。答えてみろ。0点。存在とは知識は尺と真理を探り語尾を根絶する。才は投げられ全てを失うか、はたまた手に入れるか。買いだ。マイナスだ。当たりだ。0点。
評価を始めるね。
気をつけて。ベッド。テスト。マイナスだ。
カーブ焦らないの。生産しましょう。
気をつけて。サイは投げられ全てを失うか、はたまた手に入れるか、買いだ。
答えてみろ。0点。
すべてが共鳴する。今宵星々の反響。
遊んであげるよ。
行ってカム。市場が長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。
僕が質問する。よし。マイナスだ。
気をつけて。
存在と感知される。知識は尺と真理を探り語尾を根絶する。
ベッド。
マイナスだ。
低リスク高リターン。約束された世界。
答えてみろ。0点。
前の方も債務関連のお問い合わせ。バースアップグレードコンセプ危険なリズムね。全てが共鳴する。評価を始めるね。行ってカム。くるくる。市場が長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。
戦闘は設計みたいなものよ。やっ逃がさないわ。
ゴドリン。何見てるの。今宵星々の反響。
まだ分かってないのね。人間は星空を掌握する欲望を隠さない。私もよ。
くるくる。市場が長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。ゴドリン。
ちゃんと直さないと。逃がさないわ。
くるくる。私がこんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。ゴドリン。
まだ分かってないの。人間は星空を掌握する欲望を隠さない。私もよ。
くるくる。ゴドリン。こんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。
逃がさないわ。
くるくる。市場が長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。
逃がさないわ。
ゴドリン。私が誰だか知ってる。こんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。
逃がさないわ。
くるくる。
まだ分かってる。人間は星空を掌握する欲望を隠さない。私もよ。
ゴドリン。市場長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。 私が誰だかこんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。
まだ分かってないの。人間は星空を掌握する欲望を隠さない。私もよ。
くるくる星々の反響。強化を始めるね。眼力ともどもね。
逃がさないわ。
ブルリン市場がさ長期間見据えるのが成功の秘訣。
やっ
くるくる
まだ分かってない。人間は星空を掌握する欲望を隠さない。私もよ。
ブルリンこんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。資産没収よ。まだダメ。
We've come to the end of today's guide video. If you have any other questions, do ask in the comments. I am always down to help out. Before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you again someday in the future.